Alright, this is it. Welcome to Double R. Nagdoble ka yung isa. Kaya double ka na. Double ka na ngayon. Pwede ka na magkapuso Double. Hindi, mahal ko naman kayong pareho ni Christian. Kaya sabi ko, okay lang. Hindi natin kailangan pag-usapan yung logistics behind it. So kasi the moment nakita ko, sabi ko, siguro kay ano siya. Yan, tuloy algorithm natin, pinakita kagad. No, so we want to make sure na wala tayong direct overlap. Pag-usapan natin si si Harry Roque mamaya. But I think before going there, because we want to also talk about Tulfo. I think Tulfo is a big factor when we talk about. And shout out dyan kay Attorney Libayan, my good friend. Don't worry, pag-usapan natin si Tulfo in a not reverential way. We'll discuss some of the things. Kasi nakita ko yung back and forth niya with Secretary Galvez. Medyo, I'll be honest, alam naman natin, Rafi Tulfo is an interesting guy. There are things I like about him. But at the same time, minsan feeling ko medyo kailangan niya mag-buelo ng konti, di ba? To put it nicely. So, and then we'll talk about the role of the Catholic Church because you have this very interesting situation kung saan for the, I think, first time, anywhere you have the religious hierarchy, Catholic hierarchy, directly making a statement on a geopolitical important issue, in this case, West Philippine Sea. Pero bago sa lahat, especially bago sa harakiri, pag-usapan natin itong Baste Amy Marcos episode. For me, it's a very important one, Ronald, because as far as that one is concerned, you would have thought that Amy Marcos is kind of like the last semi-breach, right? Or at least she thinks she's a breach kasi malapit siya kay Digong, kapatid niya yung presidente ngayon. So in theory, she would be the best person to be able to be a middle woman because last time I checked si Tita Arroyo, nandun na sa bagong Pilipinas rally. So mukhang alam niya na saan ang inip ng hangin. At si Romualdez naman, obviously, andun na siya sa kabila. So that really leaves very few people to do this kind of an intermediary role. So sabi ni Amy na nag-apologize daw si Basta. She tried to actually parang play down itong bardagulan na nangyari the other week na pinag-usapan natin. But Basta out of nowhere comes out very Digong style and says, parang anong hanas mo dyan? Ka pa, parang pinagbigyan nga kita. Never kami nag-apologize. Were you surprised by Basti coming out of nowhere? Parang 5 days pa yun. Parang may delayed reaction. And for him to come out strong, what do you think is behind that? And didn't he sound so Digong? Like very Digong yung style na ginawa niya. No?
Well, Duterte naman siya. Kaya hindi ako nagugulat sa mga Duterte sa barubalan, no? Dahil imaginein mo yung sa bagay, hindi naman sila lumaki kasama yung kanilang tatay. Lumaki naman sila kasama yung nanay. Pero kahit papaano ay Duterte pa rin sila. Kaya mukhang hindi naman out of character na sila ay ganyang kabarubal, no? At ganyan sila sumagot, lalo na kay Aimee na mukhang nagpakita naman ng loyalty sa kanila ditong nakaraang 1.5 years, di ba? Dinedepensahan si Sara, di ba? Sabi niya, kahit siya na yung nag-iisa na kasama ni Digong ay hindi niya iiwan si ex-President Duterte, di ba? So, tapos medyo nagkaroon lang ng kaunting misunderstanding, very public agad yung banat, no? Hindi lang very public, talagang medyo barumbado yung banat, very sharp kaagad. At ikatlo, yun yung minsan hindi napapansin ng mga tao, meron siyang binanggit doon na meron na nga siyang mga pinalampas, no? Ibig sabihin, meron
Pinagbigyan pa kita, sinabi niya,
Oo,
pinagbigyan
ibig
pa kita,
sabihin
huwag
meron
kang
mga
magulo.
previous incident na pala na nangyari na hindi natin alam, no? So, the plot thickens, no? Pero pinanood ko yung interview kasi ni Aimee kay Karen Davile, no? Pinanood ko at marami siyang sinabi ron eh. Marami siyang sinabi ron, hindi lang yung nakaprovoke kay Baste, kung hindi marami siyang mga sinabi ron na pwedeng pag-usapan in several episodes ng R&R. No? Sabi kasi niya, pumunta siya sa Davao, no?
Interesting.
Para as an emissary para sa sagipin ang UNI team. Kahit isang shred na lang ang natitira sa UNI team ay sasagipin pa rin niya, no? Sasagipin pa rin niya, no? Di ba?
Nag-Darna
Oo,
mode.
pero yung pinag-uusapan natin ngayon, yung na-provoke talaga ay yung sabi niya na nung nagsalita si Baste, wala siya ron eh. Kumakain daw siya sa isang restaurant. Pero nung nagkita sa kanila, ay puro todo yung apology, todo yung sorry sa kanya, no?
Emphasize niya na todong-todo yung sorry. Like,
Oo,
hindi lang yung
paulit-ulit.
nag-apologize, yung parang sobrang ma'am, ganun ang
Oo,
dating, di ba?
paulit-ulit, no?
Oo.
Yung pala, sabi naman ni Baste, nagso-sorry siya, nag-apologize siya dahil kawawa naman si
Naawa
Amy.
daw siya.
Naawa siya, no? Naawa siya sa sitwasyon ni Amy, no, na yung kapatid niya ganun, di ba? Hindi dahil dun sa kanyang nagso-sorry siya na pinag-resign niya, no? Pero ang revealing dito, pwede naman pag-usapan nila yun eh. Bakit ginawang public kaagad yung sagot, di ba? At very sharp, no? Nagdadrama ka, sinasama mo pa ako sa drama mo, di ba? Ganun eh. Nagsinasama mo pa ako sa drama mo,
Or
sinungaling.
worse na parang jamming, parang Bisaya kasing iba, so tinignan
Oo,
ko yung translation sa Sunstar Davao. Parang
oo,
parang dating sa akin is ang in-imply diyan is self-aggrandizing interference parang ginagawa mo, di ba? Nakikihanash ka,
oo.
maganda ka lang dito, hindi naman ano, you know what I'm saying? Parang ganun ang dating sa akin when I saw the translation kasi it's Bisaya eh. A lot of that was in Bisaya, so I couldn't understand. I look at the translation. Ang dating sa akin is wag kang magmaganda, wag kang maghanash masyado. Ano to, usapan ng mga
Mm,
ano to. So, parang for me, medyo next level yan eh. You're burning
mm.
bridges also with the only Marcos that actually may have still a degree of good faith toward you guys, right?
Naman. At saka one of their best, if not their best attack dog. 'Di ba? Dahil halos lahat ng policies ng kapatid binabanatan niya eh. 'Di ba? Dinepensahan niya si Sara nung tinanggalan ng intelligence, daan-daang milyong intelligence fund. Dinepensahan niya si Digong, no? Binanatan niya yung ICC, no? Ng husto. Ah, dapat lahat ng buto sa ating katawan tututol diyan sa ICC na 'yan, no? Et cetera, et cetera. Tapos ah, bigla pang sinupalpal, 'di ba? At up to now ay parang masama pa rin ang loob ni Baste. No, wala naman siyang overtures. Ang narinig lang natin ay after nung banat ni Baste, sabi ni Amy, nag-usap na sila uli at okay na. Na medyo duda ako.
That's my point. That's her
Oh,
version of
hindi naman
things.
niya pinaliwanag eh kung ano yung okay. Ano yung
Ay,
pinag-usapan, no? Ayaw na daw niya magsalita dahil baka makuha na naman, maintriga na naman, baka misquote na naman. Pero wala namang misquote doon sa sinabi niya. Wala ring misquote doon sa sinabi ni Baste. No? Very clear naman yung kanilang exchange, no? Kaya duda ako kung nag-uusap sila. No?
yun
Duda
nga eh,
ako.
like
Oh.
you're wondering what is Amy trying to do here? Like, is she trying
Hmm.
to show that she's more than what she is? Is she trying to be the woman of the moment? I mean, I won't
Hmm.
be surprised kasi kung, I don't know kung napanood mo. Ako napanood ko kasi yung Made in Marites. Ay, sorry, Made in Malacanang 1. Yung 2, hindi ko na masigmura eh. Parang pag ilabas mo yung 300 pesos, 400, parang, yung pagka-Ilocano ko, ang sakit, ang sakit. At least nung first, yung Made in
Ah.
Marites, sa dami mga social media engagement, medyo nabawi ko siya, mga million yata ang engagement natin na views and all. Pero yung two, wala na, pinagtatawanan na lang ng tao eh. So for me, it told me something about the algorithm, and you know, of course, hindi ko alam kung nagkaroon kayo ng mga back and forth with Daryl Yap, Director Daryl Yap. Minsan binabash-bash din ako online yan. Sabi niya, labanan ito ng mga big time. Wag daw
Ah.
makisawsaw yung mga katulad natin ng mga small time vloggers.
Mga intrigero, mga tigagatong, no?
Parang
Actually, dapat dapat ito yung gawa niya ng pelikula. Itong itong dynamics na ito. Dahil talagang pang Philippine telenovela ito, classic ito. Itong
Uy,
iba-ibang
oo
kanto,
nga, no. Baka maging
iba-ibang
Made in
kanto.
Marites 3 ito,
Oh,
tapos bida na naman si Amy.
ito
Baka
yung
siya
gawa
na
ni
naman ang
Daryl
bida.
Yap, no? Oo. Ang problema sa dulo, parang nakikita mo sa end ng telenovela, nandun si Amy nag-iisa, walang kasama, no?
Parang, wait lang,
Dahil
parang Godfather 3 yan ah. Yung ending
nasobrahan
ng
yung kanyang
Godfather 3.
kakalaro, wala na siyang kalaro, no? 'Di ba? Yun yung kanyang babalik ba siya sa kanyang pinsan na antagonistic na yung kanyang mga banat? Babalik ba siya kay First Lady? No? Hindi na siya makakabalik doon. Oo. Tapos
I
yung
completely see what's happening here. Kaya nga
Tapos yung interview niya kay Karen, medyo naglabas na siya na hindi siya sang-ayon sa secession, hindi siya sang-ayon sa resignation, hindi siya sang-ayon doon sa mga binato na napakaraming atake ni Digong sa kanyang kapatid. So, saan siya pupulutin? No? Saan
medyo
siya,
mas
oh?
magulo pa siya sa atin dalawa.
Oh,
Tayo
so
parang,
saan siya pupunta, no? Lalo na re-electionist siya sa
oh.
2025. Baka pareha siyang ilaglag ng dalawang kampo.
Yun nga eh.
No?
Tricky yung situation. Actually, okay,
Oo.
seriously speaking yun
Mhm.
nga eh. Like, sabi nga ni Margaret Thatcher, di ba? When you stand in the middle, you will be hit by both sides, di ba? Yun yung sinabi niya dun sa
Oo.
yung argument niya against centrism and all. Yun nga, I don't know. I mean, obviously, everyone knows that the relationship is not 100% with the first family. So naturally, you would think na even if Marcos ang pangalan niya, mas malapit siya kay Digong. But with this basta intervention, suddenly mapapaisip ka. And in fact, for me, the basta intervention is very important because, well, Sarah obviously is playing safe pa rin. She's still trying to, say na everything is an even kill. She's staying in the administration. But when Basta asked BBM to resign, parang, okay, wait lang. This is not just Digong having his own moment, right? This looks like a family position, or at least a Davao Republic kind of position, right? He's a mayor after all. And he's, closest to a junior, right? As far as
Yeah.
yung 'di ba yung pananalita niya, yung style niya, yung bumubuelo siya habang magsalita, tapos yung parang scruffy, macho, alpha male style. Very Digong actually, I would say, 'di ba? I mean, that's a difference obviously with Sarah, 'di ba? I mean, you tell me, anong basa mo kay Baste?
Yeah, tsaka yung sagot mismo ni Sarah. Hindi kami nag-usap ng aking kapatid. Ibig sabihin, anong ibig sabihin nun? Yung kaagad yung kanyang no? Ibig sabihin ay naramdaman din niya na it looked like a family thing, 'di ba? Yung resignation. Kaya kinakailangan niya ipaliwanag, kailangan niyang i-explain away na hindi sila nagkausap. Dahil yung dating nung kay Baste, katulad ng sinabi mo,
Yeah.
it
It's a
appeared like a
family
family
position. The
position, no?
Davao Republic position,
Oo,
right?
yan yung no? Kaya nung sinagot yung kaagad ang unang response ni Sarah, oops! Sabi ko, hindi na advise na maayos, no?
Yun nga
Kaya,
eh. So I watched very carefully yung Sarah and actually I posted yung kanyang intervention which is saying, rerespetuhin natin ang ating pamilya. So essentially, she was still trying to keep her peace and relationship with her family. But at the same time, sabi niya, may sarili siyang pag-iisip, mananatili siya sa administrasyon, magsiservisyo sa bayan bilang president. So she wanted to have the cake and eat it too, essentially. Do you think that strategy is even sustainable? Especially
no
if,
longer working,
yun nga eh, malabo siya, di ba? I mean, labo nito, di ba?
no longer working, no? And it might cost her, no? Dahil in less than a year, wala, midterm na, di ba?
Right. Which we'll discuss in the succeeding episode because we're gonna have an episode about Tulfo again because ang suspicion natin pareho and some of us have access to data. I won't say who, maybe both, maybe not. It looks like Tulfo is getting closer to the pole position as the top contender for 2028. Slowly but surely is gonna come up. But at the same time, I mean, of course, both you and I, we have our dynamics naman with in terms of we're not the typical dismissive sa mga Tulfos, right? Just to be honest, I always distinguish between the brothers, this brother versus that brother, ganun. Pero there are times na especially yung banat niya kay Secretary Galvez recently dun sa medyo I felt na okay, medyo wait lang, we need to talk about it. So we'll have a different episode about that. But before we go to Harry Roque and the ICC issue, I wanna put forward this thesis, no? Ang aking suspecha dito is this is not looking like a kind of a Digong having his own, alam mo na, moments. I call it stream of subconsciousness. Hindi lang stream of consciousness. Stream of subconsciousness. Talagang Freudian implosion. No. This looks like to me what Richard Nixon, probably the most shrewd American president of the 20th century, called the Madman Theory. Ang idea there is that if you look unpredictable, a bit crazy, and you threaten chaos, you'll intimidate your rivals. And for Nixon,
off balance, no? Off balance.
exactly. So parang that's how he tried to justify the horrible things that he and Kissinger did in Cambodia, for instance. Yung pag-escalate nila ng conflict bigla. Remember, Nixon ran as a peace end of Vietnam War candidate, right? And then he comes in, then they go on bombing right and left Cambodia and all of the poor countries there, Laos, etc. So the logic apparent there is that you show to Soviets and the Chinese and whatever, Vietnamese, that we're willing to go crazy and broke. So that will force the other side to think twice. Oh, wait lang, parang medyo delikado tong kausap, hindi to predictable. So you rather de-escalate. So in a way, it kind of worked because eventually he was able to bring China to his side against the Soviet Union. So aren't we seeing probably a version of that with Digong in a sense that Digong, by threatening chaos, by making all this noise and all of that, is trying to deter Marcos, ICC, all of them coming after him. Don't you think there might be a logic like that? Now, by threatening hell, he will actually prevent the worst outcome for himself. That there could be a method to the madness here. After all, anak siya ng Cold War. I won't be surprised. He knows a thing or two about Kissinger or Vietnam War, etc. That was the time he got into college. Because I think people underestimate the intelligence of Digong. Intellectual intelligence, not just shrewd political intelligence. Don't you think that makes sense? Ako, a part of me feels a lot of times Duterte was doing the Madman Theory. Yung sa US, sa VFA, yung kaka-cancel natin yan. Feeling ko bluff lang yun eh. Ano lang natin. So, for me, I'm not basing it out of nowhere. I felt that was the case when he was the president, when he would play these bluff games with the US. Paalisin ko yung mga Amerikano, i-end kong VFA. I don't think he was ever really serious about that. I felt it was always part of this Madman Theory strategy, which kind of worked, right? In a way, in the end, US really didn't go after him and cut a deal with him. So, of course, the counter argument would be, we're not sure he's at his sharpest at this moment, right? But in theory, that could be a sensible approach, diba? Kung alam mo naman the doors are the walls are closing on you, unahin mo na lang yan bago ka you'll go crazy try to climb out of it. What do you think about that?
Well, could be.
The real Tigar.
Could be, no? Pwedeng may method dito sa kanyang madness. Pero looking at Digong, since nung siya ay mayor, parang madman na siya since then eh, no? Yung
wala nang theory. Madman lang.
Kaya hindi ko siya nakikita simply as a strategy. Nakikita ko siya bilang katauhan eh, bilang character. Mas out of character pa yung ginawa niya last month, yung press conference niya na he's comfortable with the president, no? Na hindi siya naniniwala dun sa pulburon video, hindi siya naniniwala na si BBM is behind the ICC. Parang yun yung out of character, no? Pero yung kanyang character do sa Davao, parang bumalik yung kanyang character since he was a mayor, since he was a president, no? Kaya parang yes, it could be part of a strategy, but it's also his character. Katauhan eh. Ganun na yung katauhan niya simula nung mayor siya eh. No? Ganyan na siya makipag-away sa mga local enemies niya, ganyan siya makipag-away sa mga kalaban niya, di ba? Kaya pwedeng merong method yung kanyang madness, pero baka mad naman talaga siya from the very start.
Madman
no?
lang, wala nang theory.
Talaga namang yun lang naman yung yun lang naman yung aking kaunting adjustment do sa Madman Theory mo.
Medyo nakulangan yung theory, tumaas
baka
yung
hindi lang siya theory, baka katauhan talaga eh, no? Saka,
okay.
Baka mas si Sigmund Freud at saka si Carl Jung yung kailangang batayan na magbasa sa kanya. Baka usapin ng libido.
Medyo libidinal, libidinal volcanic eruption. Pero may asim pa. I mean, okay, ganito kasi Ronald. I saw, in fairness, yung mga ka-TikTokers natin, mabilis na nag-question na, Richard naman, you're giving na naman too much credit to tatay. Kaya ikaw, immediately, yun ang sagot mo. Baka madman lang, wala nang theory. Di ako naman, Ronald, I never believe in that. Like, Tatay Digong is doing Sanju, Art of War. Di ba may mga ganun dati? Sasabihin yung Art of War, mga Sanju. Na-Sanju siya ng China. Na-sunshine siya ng China. Pero
yung mga tao niya, nagsusubukang magpakahe nung kanyang madness. Yung kanyang madness. O sige, pinapabayaan siyang magsalita ng ganyan. Pero sila Sunny Dominguez, sinusubukan i-backpedal. No? Yung una niyang spokesperson, bago si ex-human rights lawyer, yung pastor, no? Medyo hirap na hirap yun eh, di ba? So yun yung mga nag-a-adjust ng kanyang madness, no? Dun sa kaya minsan ginagamit nila sa Sunny Dominguez yung kanyang madness to meditate, no? Para takutin ng mga kalaban. Pero Pero parang ang
Machiavelli.
nangyayari kasi ito,
Machiavelli. Diba sabi
banat
nga
siya ng
dati,
banat, pero yung pagpapatakbo ng kanyang gobyerno, iba naman eh. Iba naman yung ginagawa eh. Iba
yeah.
yung ginagawa nila Sani.
Pero
No?
wala na siya kasing gobyerno eh. Retired na siya, private
Oo.
citizen siya ngayon.
Oo.
So,
Hindi, tsaka
ano,
yung
hanas
bahagi
niya.
ng kanyang character is a zero-sum guy eh. Di ba?
Yeah.
He's a zero-sum guy
All
eh.
or
No?
nothing.
Oh, yun yung kanyang kwan na, wag niyo ako iboto. Kung iboboto niyo ako, itatamba ko 100,000 bangkay ng mga kriminal sa Manila Bay. Di ba? Mga ganun yung kanyang mga kwan eh, mga asta na pwedeng part of a method, no? Part of his personality, his character, no? Pero bahagi ng kanyang character, zero-sum guy eh. Kaya sabi ko
So,
nga, sa ibang nakaraang
so
episode,
Secretary Ronald Llamas, you're saying the method is the madness.
yes,
No method to
exactly.
the madness. The
Exactly. Oo.
method.
Oo. Pag sinabi mo kasi may method, sinasabi mo na pinag-iisipan niya maigi yung strategy. No?
Okay, okay. Good, good, good. Goods na ako, goods na ako. Okay, I think that sets the perfect transition to our next episode, Harry Roque, intervention. Medyo pag-usapan natin itong konting marites sa ICC and Davao Task Force. Allegedly being disbanded. So pag-usapan natin logistics. When and if, well, more like when wala nang if masyado, no? The warrants of arrest come. What are we gonna look forward to? Sige, pag-usapan natin yan sa next episode. Thank you very much, Secretary Ronald Llamas, aka Theory Without Madness. Ayan to. The method is the madness. I like that. Magandang ano yan. Magandang ano yan. Sa Pilipinas, hindi tayong Richard Nixon. Ano lang. Tatay Digong lang. Thank you very much, sir.
Ibang level yon.
Ibang level.